Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at YouTube.com.
What kind of wrestling podcast?
Pro wrestling podcast, Larson. Right here at YouTube.com/Steven Larson. We are also available on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steven Larson. And that is where we get the questions for the Matt Chat show. It's Sunday, so we're doing Matt Chat today, Larson. And of course, at the $20 a month and up mark on Patreon, you can submit your video question. We got at least one new Matt Chatter today.
Yeah.
But we're going to hop right into it with a question from Matt Chat Hall of Famer, the B-Man, Patrick Sparks. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey friendos, Pat here. Alright, so with the return of Sasha Banks on Monday to a great reaction, including one from myself, that was pretty cool. It's clear we're getting Becky versus Sasha. Now, is there any way that they could actually tell a good story? I know this is WWE we're talking about here, but they have a long time until Mania. Is there any way that this could eventually turn into the four horsewomen main event of Mania? Charlotte, Becky, Bayley, and Sasha all vying for the Raw and Women's Championships, very similar to last year. If so, I want you to fantasy book it and have fun. Bye.
Thank you, B-Man.
Thank you, B-Man.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's entirely possible. I think once the Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, Charlotte match at Mania was done, we had heard rumors that they had already, creative events, whoever, had already started considering what the main event for next Mania would be. And it came from, evidently, it stemmed from the Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte match. So it wouldn't surprise me if they were putting this together. Right now, you've got all four horsewomen. Well, you've got two of the horsewomen involved in the Raw title scene, and then you've got Bayley. And at the end of the Charlotte Ember Moon thing, did they set anything up with Bliss? So they didn't. But it's logical to think Charlotte just beat the person who was the number one contender to Bayley's title, the person who lost to Bayley. Charlotte probably might be moving on to try to challenge Bayley. It wouldn't surprise me if they were involved somehow, some way in the Mania main event. Whether or not they'd go back to the well of both titles, that seems like it'd be a bit much, so I'm not sure exactly how it would play out. If they want to dive into the four horsewomen versus four horsewomen thing for Mania next year, there's still plenty of time for that. Maybe. Time goes by pretty quick, though. So it wouldn't surprise me if that was the idea in setting up all the horsewomen in title scenes in some way, shape, or form for Mania.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we're pretty much in agreement. I wouldn't be surprised the match happened. However, if both titles are up for grabs, I would have a hard time believing it'd be the main event because
they just did that.
They just did that this past Mania. I'd be hard pressed to think they'd want to do it again the following year. In terms of building up a high profile money women's title match, whether it be for the Raw or SmackDown Women's Championship, I think having a four horsewoman fatal four-way would be the way to go. I think it is a bit too early yet for the four horsewomen versus four horsewomen.
Sure, yeah.
I don't think Jessamine Duke or Marina Shafir are ready for that stage.
I wonder what if they did this? What if the idea was to try to build to Ronda versus Becky for next year's Mania? I know Natalya has said Ronda really does want to come back, but obviously she's committed to starting a family. However, if she has not been impregnated by Survivor Series, if she said, hey, I'm fine putting off a little bit. We do a 6-month thing, culminating at Mania, me versus Becky one-on-one.
I mean, even if they put off for her and her husband put off for 6-8 months. There's really only probably a 3-month commitment that she would have to make, probably from Rumble to Mania.
Yeah, what they could do is if you have all four horsewomen in their respective title scenes, what if they did either a fatal four-way or a title versus title? Not for both time, not winner take all, but a champion versus champion thing at Survivor Series, brand versus brand. Because at that point, if they do pull the trigger on completely separate brands, you can do brand warfare again at Survivor Series. And you can have, Becky versus maybe Charlotte again or Bayley if she retains against Charlotte.
We haven't seen,
And then you have whoever wins that match is like ultimate women's champion.
Or you can have Sasha take that belt off Becky for a bit and do Sasha versus Bayley at Survivor Series.
Yeah, you could do that. And then, maybe we can get Sasha versus Ronda at WrestleMania. I don't know. Becky seems to be the biggest star of all of them. But I think there's any number of ways they could approach that situation. I agree with you, though. I think both titles on the line. Once again, winner takes all. They didn't execute it properly in the first place.
No.
I doubt they would do it. They would do it again.
Yeah, I'd be really surprised if they did. Next question from another Matt Chat Hall of Famer,
Christopher Rampersad.
Hello, Stephen Larson. So my question is Seth Rollins really the man? Like, he beat Brock Lesnar 2 times. Is he better than Roman Reigns now? Are we seeing that Seth Rollins is the company guy, and they does little by little, push on Roman, but he still have a decent push? Or is this just for Seth hold Roman's spot until Roman comes back to his spot originally?
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you, Christopher.
Really appreciate how direct his questions usually are.
To the point.
Exactly.
To the point.
So is Seth the man, Larson?
No, Becky is. She's got a shirt that says man on it.
She has many shirts that says
Therefore, she is the man.
It says it on her Tron, too.
Yeah. So, it's Becky.
You think she's the face of the company? She's the face of the video game. Roman's sort of turning his back to the camera of the video game.
Yeah, I was going to use that as part of my case.
Sorry.
Becky, one of the participants main event at WrestleMania, she's on the cover of the video game. Like, all her merch says the man on it. She's the man. But if you want to, I think Vince views one person as his the most sure thing he has. I'm not saying necessarily face of the company, the man, but there's only, in Vince's mind, I think, one sure thing on the roster in terms of getting eyeballs on the product, making money for the company, and that's the next big thing. That's Brock Lesnar. I think Vince views Brock Lesnar as the only wrestler on his roster that he can count on to show up on a regular basis that will actually bring eyeballs.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think he's right. I think it's creative failings that have led to countless wrestlers who have all the ability in the world to be face of the company not being in that position.
Yeah, I sorry, I didn't know if that was a burp.
Yeah.
If you're going to keep going.
No, that was it.
It makes me wonder, because you mentioned Brock Lesnar, and I do think that Vince does have a fascination with him. I wonder if Brock isn't necessarily considered the guy that brings viewers, but he makes sponsors and network executives happier and feel more safe.
Probably because they are under the impression, based on whatever metrics they have or suppositions they have, that Brock is the top draw in the company.
So that wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. I don't think there is. I think that what you said is true because of creative feelings. They failed to make a massive superstar. They obviously tried it with Roman Reigns, and that was a failure, to be honest. In the end, it was a failure. We like Roman Reigns just fine.
Yeah.
But he is right now on par with Seth Rollins and any number of Becky Lynch, any number of other people that you can maybe look at. There isn't one singular face of the company. Brock is the closest thing to. Hopefully they I don't know. I mean, I understand that it's catching lightning in a bottle, but at the same time, they have a lot of lightning there that they really need to capture.
I know.
Or that they can conceivably capture. And maybe Paul Heyman is the guy to be able to do it. I think that it's conceivable. I think you've got one guy sort of, or you got two people sort of at the faces of SmackDown, Kevin Owens, which obviously they have something in mind for him because he is a big factor in that show. And you got Roman Reigns over there as well, right now, part of the A story. And then, of course, over on R, you got Seth Rollins. So they have a lot of opportunity to create a new John Cena, a new face of the company. Or if they would rather, like Ryback once said, maybe they don't want another John Cena. Maybe they want it to be a true group effort so that no one person, and I kind of doubt this, but I guess it's possible. Maybe they're content with just having a deep bench where they can go to any number of people and say, hey, we're going to put the title on you. The brand is bigger than you.
Yeah, that could be. That's entirely possible. Depends on their marketing strategy and what they feel is best for business. However, we've seen the power that one transcendent superstar can have, not just on WWE, but wrestling as a whole, and how it can elevate the company to heights that are pretty rare in history of wrestling.
Especially if they're going to want to continue to rely on nostalgia.
Yep.
You're going to need those big names that people can call back to.
Exactly. Next question from Wong Choco.
Wong News.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the non-news intro Mark Wong Choco coming at you with another Matt Chat question. Wang is okay. I don't really mind, guys. It's all good. But I'm just watching Raw right now, and I noticed the King of the Ring is coming back starting next week. And we all love tournaments. We know that we're all big tourney marks. So I was just wondering, who do you think could go the furthest with the King of the Ring moniker? I don't really mean like who do you think should win. I just, once again, it's kind of more of those, let's just book it and have fun with it. So who do you think will be the most fun as the King of the Ring to win the tournament? Also, how would you book the tournament? I know Survivor Series is coming up. So I don't know how they're planning on doing this. But yeah, how would you book the tournament? Who would win? And how would you book that person coming out of the tournament? Just like leading up to Survivor Series or the Rumble or WrestleMania. Looking forward to hearing you guys' answer. Two sweet hearty handshake. Everyone have a good one. Goodbye.
Thank you, Wong.
Thank you, Wong News. All right, I'll go first. Who would be the most fun person as King of the Ring? I'm going to say this, man. So right now, get out of here with your answer.
You're trying to tell me that's not the most fun choice.
No, I am telling you that.
No, that is the most fun choice.
He's already done that kind of stuff. It's obnoxious. I'll let you get to that. Just go ahead and do it now.
Oh, if Baron Corbin would be the most fun. He'd be insufferable.
No, it'd be terrible.
Nobody
wants to see that.
I know, and that's why it'd be fun if he just reveled in the fact that nobody wanted it.
Would
it be good for business? No.
No, it'd be terrible.
But it would be fun to watch.
No, it wouldn't even be fun to watch.
It would be hella fun to watch, man. Baron putting a crown on his head.
You don't say hella very often. That's dope.
No, I know. Coming out with a cape. It's like a really crappy cape from Party City.
Big crappy smile on his face. Oh, people would be pissed.
He'd paint his rental Ferrari purple.
Yeah.
Regal color.
He'd rent a purple Ferrari.
Yeah, or rent a purple Ferrari. Yeah.
And then Billy Gunn would call him out on
it. You're here laughing. It's so good.
No, it's not. It's
terrible. The best answer.
So
Baron Corbin would be the most fun King of the Ring.
Oh, man. I like the idea. I like this. So Ricochet also already refers to himself as King Ricochet, I think, doesn't he? On Twitter or something.
He did in his pre-WWE days. He was King Ricochet, yes.
Here's what I think we might need from Ricochet for that next level is a little bit of attitude, a little bit of edge. Right now he is firmly ensconced in that sort of Finn Balor. He's really cool, but he's also just a straight-up babyface, and that can tend to be a bit on the boring side. Now, nothing about his in-ring ability is boring at all. I think he's so much fun to watch. However, maybe a little bit of edge, a little bit of attitude, a little bit of cockiness that could be propelled by a King of the Ring win. Instead of just being a normal, hey, I won the tournament, what if he can be like, yeah, I'm the cock of the walk. I'm the man around here.
Baron already does that.
I'm king. Yeah, I know, but imagine Baron, but with like Ricochet's freaking abilities.
Maybe that's what Baron's doing the last month and a half is going and going to the Performance Center and learning.
Is he training with Mike
moves,
Quackenbush?
Learning some new moves. He's going to be in Chikara in no time.
Maybe. Maybe. That I'd see. I'd watch Baron in DDT Pro.
Hell yeah, man.
That'd maybe be the best thing ever.
That would be pretty cool. Next, got a question from Rich and Chase.
Oh.
Hey, friendos. Rich the Smash Bro here. I was thinking about something for Mad Chat. In the state that NXT is in, they have a mostly depleted roster, and they're basically hanging on to Adam Cole, Gargano. They've just brought in others to kind of boost everything up with your Matt Riddles and such. Velveteen Dream. But my question is, who do you think is next to leave NXT to head for the main roster? And also, Chase is here, and he has a very quick question to add as well.
Hey, Steven Larson. I have a really quick question. Who do you think would win against... What was it again? Ricochet against The Undertaker.
All right.
Bye!
Thank you, Rich.
Look at all that beef. Rich and Chase, the Beef Brothers.
Let's answer Chase's question first. Ricochet V Undertaker. Who gets the dub?
These days, Undertaker should be doing nothing but putting young talent over. You got that right,
Ricochet.
Boy. That's right.
King Ricochet. King of the Ring Ricochet.
King Ricochet, who wears $300 shirts.
I wonder if he still has his crown he used to wear back in his indie days.
Right? Let's put a little stank on your character. Wear some $300 shirts. Just look at The Rock from '98. Just do that.
Okay.
Just do that. Nice shirts.
Because when we saw him the first time in PWG, his match against Leo Rush, remember what his entry music was? I just can't wait to be king from the Lion King.
See,
start coming out to that up until the finals.
Yeah, I like this, man. So you put him with another guy who could use some edge, with like some silk shirts. Apollo Crews.
Yeah,
put them together, not as a tag team, just palling around.
Well, then Akira Tozawa too,
and then Akira Tozawa,
because they're all best friends.
Because they're all actual friends. And then for the piece de la resistance, you bring Moose in.
Of course.
This is the best.
He is. He's incredible. Anyways, who's the next to leave NXT for the main roster, Steve?
So this is it's such a dark horse answer. Keith Lee. What if they understand that he's basically ready for prime time? He doesn't need the NXT scene is a little too. I kind of disagree with Rich's basic premise in that I don't think that NXT has a depleted roster. Now I understand that they are going through a bit of a rebuilding at the top. I think that's probably what he means. You know, Ricochet, Aleister Black, they're both gone. Now you have Adam Cole, Gargano. He had that big sort of pseudo send off, which apparently isn't a send off. But yeah, he's got to be done with that main title scene. Nobody really knows the status of Ciampa. Like I'll believe it when I see it. So I get what he's saying. I think there's a ton of people.
It really is.
That they can just plop right in, and they're all talented enough.
They just signed Austin Theory.
Well, that was a tryout.
No,
that the same thing as a signing?
No, that was the newest class the Performance Center, it said.
So they're in. They're good. Well, you never know,
Austin
man.
Theory's there. Santana Garrett's
Maybe
there.
Austin Theory will wash out on the Florida Loop. He'll be piling out with Dan Mather.
And he'll be back to Evolve in no time, huh?
Yeah, he's going to be a big star. But you're right. They've got him. I didn't realize they actually had him. That's awesome. They have him. Any number of people that can just plop right in that main event scene, and they'll be totally fine. But I'm thinking, hey, maybe there's so many people there. Keith Lee is a unique athlete. Big dude who can move. I mean, there's any number of matchups I'd love to see him match up with on the main roster. Maybe he'll be the guy to get. Your answer is probably, I'm surprised.
I changed it.
Okay. Well, you had Shayna there. Shayna is probably.
No, depending on how they approach NXT on Fox Sports 1, should it happen, they might want to keep Shayna around. I know she's pretty much done everything.
Yeah. No, I like your answer. Your answer's good, too.
But she's still really involved in all the storylines.
Yeah.
Keith Lee really isn't doing anything right now, and neither is Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. She's ready for main.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Her husband, Montez Ford, has been moonlighting on NXT and Raw the last few weeks.
She should come in and be like, why are you guys not doing anything? Get out to the ring right now.
Wrestle. That's what I'm going to do. And she goes and wrestles, and she wins.
Exactly.
She's incredible.
Yeah, she's incredible.
They don't really, ever since she was in that program with Mia Yim, haven't really seen her on TV. So usually NXT cops fall under one of two categories. Former champions who lose the rematch for their title and then teleport out, and then people who aren't really doing anything who show up on the main roster. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
If you're in NXT and you haven't just lost a championship belt, but you're involved in something, odds are, granted, it's all up to Vince's whims, you're going to stick around.
Yeah.
But if you just lost your title and then lost the subsequent rematch, you're teleporting out of there.
You're out. I'd be shocked if I saw you on TV.
If you've been in NXT a while, you've had some high-profile matches, and they got nothing left for you, guess what? Get ready to be on the road 200 days a year.
If you're this is the big. If you're in the main event on the house show loop against Adam Cole for the NXT Championship, but you're almost never on TV, you're probably going to go to main roster before you're going to be in a title scene.
That's Keith Lee.
Yeah, that's Keith Lee.
He's had some title matches against Adam Cole.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's Keith Lee right there.
Yeah. Next, got a question from Ron Armenta.
Hi, Stephen Larson. This is Ron Armenta. Steffi wanted me to say hi. She couldn't be here today, but I do have something from her, so I'll start with that. This is our very first Matt Chat question, and it is, how long do you think Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss are going to carry the titles? Is it going to be just another pay-per-view, or is it going to go all the way to WrestleMania, so on and so forth? And who do you think should eventually take those titles off of them? Of course, Seffi would like to see Kairi Sane and Asuka do that, but who do you think it actually will be? And then for me, this is the question I have, is do you feel WWE has already lost faith in the Fiend character? Didn't see him on either Raw or SmackDown or any hint of him, so just that's my question. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, Ron. Oh, I go.
You go first.
I go. To answer the second part, or Ron's question, no, I don't think they've lost any faith in The Fiend. His debut on SummerSlam got a bunch of YouTube hits. Ryan Satin reported today, Wednesday, that the reason they're keeping him off TV is to keep him feeling special.
Yeah, that's exactly what they should be doing.
Which is great.
Yeah. People read a lot into the YouTube video having the lantern chopped out of it. Like, oh, maybe Vince felt it went too far.
No, he just posted a picture on Brady's posted a picture on Twitter of him with lanterns. So the lantern's going anywhere.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. The lantern's not going anywhere. So no, I mean, it's just been a week.
Did he caption it with anything?
Oh yeah, he did. I can't remember what it said.
He said, "Stop freaking out."
Would you just look at that? And it's him crouching with some smoke and the severed head lantern.
I love it. He
Pretty
is
good.
so in tune. Did you see what he was like shouting out Ross on Twitter?
Oh no.
Yeah, I forgot what he said. Something I forget. I think he said something like they're related or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's great.
It was pretty great.
So give it time. I don't think anyone's losing any enthusiasm for The Fiend anytime soon. As far as the women tag titles, it's entirely possible that Nikki and Alexa can have a pretty good run. It just depends if they want to do eventually down the road a feud with them, or if they're so happy with how their partnership, their team has been going that they want to run with them for a while.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible. If it's going to be a feud and they build it right, it might be something they want to try to do for Mania, which would mean they would probably lose those tag titles around the Rumble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking it all depends. They seem to be...
It's got to be Asuka and Kairi Sane who win those belts.
Agreed with that. So, yeah, I had Survivor Series, Rumble, whatever. They need a good feud with them. I think they're really... Obviously, Vince really likes Nikki with Alexa Bliss. They are a really good team. They have really great chemistry in the ring, which is super important. Mm-hmm. Their characters, I think, have really good chemistry. The two of them really seem to actually like each other, which is really cool. So this is kind of interesting. The Fiend SummerSlam entrance on YouTube had 2.7 million hits. That was the only thing that beat it on SummerSlam was Rollins beating Brock. That actually got about 1 million more. But it's comparable to Sasha Banks' return, which got around 2.6 million over the past day or two.
I mean, and a lot of the buzz.
Wow, Edge's spear got 4 million.
Wow, a lot of the buzz coming out of SummerSlam was mostly about the Fiend.
Oh yeah,
people were stoked.
Oh, absolutely, yeah,
with the whole thing. So I don't think it's going anywhere.
I agree with that totally.
Next, we've got a couple similar questions from Guillaume and Renegade Soul, so I'll run them back to back, answer them together. Take it away, gentlemen.
Hey there, friendos. This is Jacksonville's #1 Matt Chatter, Guillaume Halili, back with another Matt Chat question. This week, my question is, what's one small thing that could have happened differently in the past that would change how WWE is now? For instance, if Triple H never got injured when he was tagging with Stone Cold, would Chris Jericho have become the first Undisputed Champion? Or would it have been Triple H? Something like that. I don't know. You guys pick one. Be creative. Yeah, thanks again, guys, for everything you do. Y'all are the best wrestling podcast named Going in Raw. All right, too sweet, hearty handshake. Later, guys.
Hey guys, it's the Renegade. I can't talk too long. I'm on the run from the Twitter police. I really can't have them find me. So I'm going to make this real quick. If you were to change the course of history, if you were to, say, give another superstar a back route, a back way, if you will, change the course of history, what would you do? Would you, say, make Shawn Michaels the top guy in the Attitude Era? Or would it be something else? Maybe it would be removing a victory altogether. I'll keep you guys informed. I gotta go.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right. So, Larson, we get to play Time Traveler.
Ooh, time travel.
Yeah.
Very interesting stuff.
So, I guess I'll go first.
Sure.
It's not quite an alternate. Well, I guess it is an alternate universe situation. To Guillaume's question, what's something that could have happened in the past that could have changed the course of WWE? Yeah, and the same with Renegade Soul. Okay. So, just think about this. If Vince McMahon was as stubborn back then as he is now, Do you see the ringmaster ever changing into Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Probably not.
Probably not. Now, I mean, it's possible, given the ringmaster went over like a wet fart, that Vince would just be like, all right, go ahead and do whatever you want to do. And maybe we would have got that. I mean, he did kick him off in like low-level feuds with like Savio Vega, and it went over really, really well. But there's the possibility that he'd been like, no, that ringmaster's such a good chick. That's possible.
Mm-hmm.
The same with Rocky Maivia.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, it's okay. No, you just keep doing it. It's such a good chick.
Yeah.
So it's possible that the two biggest stars of the 90s, The Rock and Stone Cold, might never, ever. I mean, The Rock could be like, teaching, like, I don't know, PE teacher right now. Exactly.
In the South Florida
area. He could totally be that instead of giant movie star guy. But so yeah, I'm going to say that if The Rock and Ringmaster, they were not hits out of the gate, they were turds out of the gate, and then they switched it up.
They pivoted to something that eventually worked.
If everybody just had their role in the play, as I guess Triple H or Vince or somebody said,
yeah,
that'd have been bad for WWE.
Imagine Mr. Kennedy didn't hurt people. Like, allegedly. That's what Randy Orton said.
That's what Randy Orton
Randy
said?
And John Cena, they said they got hurt wrestling Mr. Kennedy, and that led him getting let go from WWE.
When you're injuring the two top stars of their generation.
And then, because Mr. Kennedy for a while was in the midst of a massive push, and then he got manipulated by Edge and putting his Money in the Bank briefcase up in a match, and then got squashed pretty much.
Boy.
That was the end of that.
They turded him out.
Yeah, they did. But imagine if that hadn't happened. If Mr. Kennedy was the one star they tried to kind of manufacture, and it worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he could have been huge. I mean, was he like a PE teacher right now?
Maybe.
See, he could be in the Fast and Furious movies now.
Could have been.
That's crazy to think.
Could have been.
Well, they tried to make a movie star, though. He was in the Marine.
That's true. 2?
Behind Enemy Lines?
It's the second one, right?
Or was it...
How many has The Miz been in? 2 or 3? It's not really
Was Mr. Kennedy in the Marine?
Yeah, I think that's right. He was in a movie.
I thought, wasn't he in the direct... Wasn't he... Was Behind Enemy Lines?
I thought Marine 1 was the only one that was actually released in theaters. That's the only one Cena was in.
Behind Enemy Lines 2. Wasn't this the one?
Oh, is that what it is? That's not Mr. Kennedy.
That is definitely not.
Behind Enemy Lines, that was the first one had wasn't it with Gene Hackman and Owen Wilson?
Yeah, I thought the second one was a WWE production.
I don't think so. I think
I am tripping.
I think you're thinking of Marine 2.
You're probably right.
Look up Marine 2.
No, see, that's who is that? That's the DiBiase kid, isn't it?
Oh, is that
it says right here, Ted DiBiase.
Okay, well, but the third one.
Okay, hold on a second.
I feel like by then Mr. Kennedy was gone. He was in a movie. I know that he was in a movie.
Yeah, at the third one was The Miz. Okay, hold on a second.
Mr. Kennedy WWE film.
Mr. Kennedy film WWE.
He was in at least one movie. Well, these are just all images. Maybe I was thinking DiBiase's kid.
No, man, Mr. Anderson was in a movie.
Sure about that?
Yes.
All right.
I am absolutely 100% positive. I'm about to find it out right now. Filmography. Behind Enemy Lines. Thank you. Oh my God, I thought I was going crazy. So this must have been
third one.
The third one.
Fourth one.
The sequel.
Anyway, we're wasting way too much time talking about that. Next, we got a question from the Hollow One.
Hey guys, hot topic over the weekend was the Fiend's debut. It was pretty cool. Just want to get your thoughts on who do you think hands the Fiend their first loss? I'm thinking something like a Demon Balor at WrestleMania next year would be pretty cool. I think they could do a lot of awesome things leading up to that with regular Finn and Fireflies. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Hollow One.
Confirmed it was the third one. It was the third one.
All right.
Man, that would have been the most random thing if I misremembered that one. Woo, boy.
All right. Who hands the Fiend his first loss, Steve?
We can say it together. 1, 2, 3.
Finn Balor. I don't think you say Demon Balor.
Balor.
Demon Balor. You got to put that. It's got to be Demon Balor.
Yeah, it's going to be Demon Balor.
It'll have to be Demon Balor.
How great would it be though if Demon Balor came back? You thought that was like the lock of locks, and then then the Fiend beat even him.
Yeah.
I honestly think that's how it should go at Mania.
Yeah.
That's how it should go.
If you really want to put over the Fiend is a huge star, that's how you got to do it.
I'll be honest, the Demons played out for me anyways. Like,
welcome aboard that train, Steve.
I'll get out of here. It took time. It's just been this doesn't make any sense. There's no consistency to it. I don't do anything.
Like at least in NXT, every takeover match you do Demon.
Yeah, I know. Like he can get the powers every time.
It makes sense.
You know, and we never did get to see Pumpkin Balor.
Well, that's okay.
No, that was a bummer. Oh, that was great.
No, it's fine. We didn't need to see Pumpkin Balor.
Yeah, and that's the problem. On main roster, they always treat it so stupid. They always do it so cheesy anyways, with like weird video effects and stuff that look like they're middle school quality at best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay, so hold on a second. What if it's not Finn? What if it's not Finn?
No one beats him.
I like it. No, how about this?
No one beats him.
It's Kofi. It's Kofi.
All right.
Kofi needs like strong opponents that it's like that you think, oh, they're gonna go with him for the title. What if Fiend totally takes Kofi off his game, beats him for the title,
and then Kofi beats him to get
comes
it
back around, and Kofi beats him?
Yeah,
for the
that'd be
first
good.
one. That's big. I
That'd
like
be
that
huge
better
for
than
Kofi.
Finn.
Next, got a question from Joshua Martinez.
Hey, friendos. Joshua Martinez back this week with a question. So, I'm rewatching the episode of Raw that pays tribute to Eddie Guerrero when he passed away, and I'm on Chris Benoit's interview when he's talking about Eddie. Now, with all due respect, let's put aside the Chris Benoit situation. Who do you think would have had a bigger impact if they were alive today, like from the moment they would have died till now? Who do you think would have had a bigger impact in business, Benoit or Eddie?
Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you, Joshua.
Totally Eddie.
Yeah, dude. Here's the thing. Eddie was, in my opinion, as good a wrestler as Benoit.
Totally.
They were on par. They were like right there, right?
But Eddie had the advantage when it came to charisma, personality.
He was next level.
Promos, all that.
He was absolutely next level when it came to personality. You know, the funny thing about him is that his promos were not eloquent. They felt so real, you know?
Totally.
He just the level of passion he brought to it, man, Eddie was the best.
Yeah, he was phenomenal.
He was absolutely the best. And I mean, to this day, you see it with Sasha Banks, you see it with a bunch of other people. A lot of people credit Eddie.
I think massive influence.
You see that. And granted, look, man, I know nobody's going to come out and say, "Oh yeah, I was very much influenced by Chris Benoit." Although I imagine many people were. I mean, Matt Riddle recently sort of dropped his name as somebody you'd pay attention to if you want to watch a good wrestling match, not a Goldberg one. But so it's obviously a bit more difficult to publicize that.
Yeah.
But I think to this day, the combination of personality and in-ring ability, it's Eddie Guerrero. Yep. I think he's an all-timer.
Absolutely. A.O. Worm's got a question. Another Matt Chat Hall of Famer. Take it away, A.O. Worm.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy A.O. Worm with another Matt Chat question. All right, Steve Larson. Which one do you think is more beneficial to the wrestler long term? Do you think they had good performance, they had a good match, but they lost type deal, like how Ember and Buddy lost their respective match, but they had a good showing. It was a great showing, but they still lost. Or do you think that wins actually matter, and that's how you get people over, is by having them win matches? So which one do you think is more beneficial to the wrestler? The good showing, the great match, but still came up short? Or the, oh my God, they won and they keep winning matches? Let me know what you guys think. Too sweet, hearty handshake.
Thank you, A.O. Worm.
I wonder, is he in the bowels of an arena or the bowels of a naval air force or naval base?
I don't know.
Or the bowels of maybe just his home?
I don't know.
Looks like he's in the bowels somewhere.
What's more beneficial long term? It's got to be wins, right? Wins is more beneficial. I mean, cause if you start out winning, but your performance-wise is kind of meh, then, I mean, ideally, it's good performance and winning right out of the gate.
Yeah, A.O. Armour is right but it's not an or. It's both.
It's both.
Because you can't put in super good performances and lose all the time because you're gonna be like,
no one really cares.
Yeah,
no one really cares.
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, on SmackDown, you had Buddy Murphy in a hell of a match against Roman Reigns. Now, if he can sustain that level of performance but not win, people be like, "Oh, cool, Buddy Murphy. Man, it'd be cool if he won a match."
Yeah. No, you know what the exact answer is Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
I don't care about him because he doesn't win. I'll put it this way. I know that as soon as I see him, chances are he's going to be losing the match. Even though I know, man, I'm going to get a pretty good match because of this dude. Same thing could be said about Chad Gable.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he were to show up just randomly on SmackDown and face, I'll just use Buddy Murphy. At this point, Buddy Murphy he's
top tier performer in ring. Yeah.
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 And I think they have plans for him. They don't have plans for Chad Gable. Chad Gable's going to lose. He's going to lose to the vast majority of people. Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
Great performer in the ring.
Yeah.
Consummate loser.
Yeah.
So, yeah, wins. I mean, honestly, in the end, it's wins that matter.
Yeah, wins matters. Wins matter. Master of Memes Blake Whitehouse has a question.
Friendos, allow me to introduce to you the Master of Memes and current theater arts major at USI, Blake Whitehouse, making my Matt Chat debut. And my first question for you guys: does NXT have a babyface problem? Considering how Johnny Gargano's probably out of the NXT title picture scene, I mean, hopefully, at least for now, the only other top babyface I see is Matt Riddle. And this also goes to the women's division, with the only real babyface being Candice LeRae. So, what the hell do they do from here? Thank you.
Thank you, Blake, and welcome to Matt Chat.
And welcome to Matt Chat.
Go ahead, Steve.
No. There's plenty of people. They don't. NXT doesn't really. So I think that the Gargano Ciampa feud was used to illustrate how you can move past a heel face dynamic. Obviously, Johnny was pure baby face while Ciampa was like pure evil. But then you see a lot of the blurring of lines, and I think that was a story that Triple H, whomever, was interested in telling or knew would be interesting when you get to the point of blurring those lines and get to where kind of we are today. Velveteen Dream. Obviously, he's
neither heel nor face,
right.
Yet he's beloved by the crowd.
He's beloved by the crowd, but he could do heel things. He could do facing. He could do everything. Like Adam Cole, Undisputed Era. They're beloved by the crowd. NXT embraces complex characters who
deliver in the ring.
And they're just interesting. What the heck is even Damian Priest besides a vampire?
Well, we didn't know if he's a vampire.
Well, he definitely wants to be a vampire.
Yeah,
we can agree on that.
He wants to
and
be
an archer?
He is an
archer.
No, I think he's an aspiring vampire and archer.
He's an aspiring archer and aspiring vampire?
Yeah. He wants to be the first archer vampire.
Wow.
Or vampire archer.
Ambitious. He's creating a new genre. Anyways, so yeah, no, they've got they don't have a baby face. They've got no problems whatsoever. They're great. They might have some problems if they move to 2 hours live on Fox Sports 1, but for right now, they have zero problems.
Yeah. Of course, he mentioned Matt Riddle, I believe. You also got Velveteen Dream, who you mentioned, Keith Lee, Kushida, who we haven't seen in a while, Peter Dune, who, he's got edge to him. He's got an attitude, but he's firmly babyface. And who knows what kind of role Ciampa's going to fill when he comes back. Last we saw him, he was giving Gargano a hug after winning the title. That seems like a babyface move.
Kind of surprised they didn't have a takeover match for Kushida built in.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And then you've got like everybody in the breakout tournament. Although I guess Dexter Lumis, there's no way that guy is going to be anything but firmly heel.
You'd think so. On the women's side, you got Tegan Knox, who's just coming back. Apparently, she was supposed to win the last Mae Young Classic.
Yeah.
Dakota Kai, she's a fan favorite in Full Sail right now. She has a built-in story with Shayna when she comes back from injury. And as you mentioned, regardless of what other baby faces are on the roster, that's not NXT's primary concern. I wouldn't be surprised if Io Shirai ended up beating Shayna Baszler for that women's title. Because it fits the story they've been telling.
Sure. Yeah,
doesn't matter. They'll both be heels. Doesn't matter. Got a question next from the Enforcer, Stevie Bradley.
Hey, friendos. It's the Enforcer here. Taking a time out from my sim racing to send you guys a Matt Chat question. And we're hot off the heels of SummerSlam, which I thought was kind of a show. And I remember as a kid, SummerSlam meant something. Like, titles change hands, big story progression, big beats. Lately, last couple years, not really feeling that so much. So I'm wondering, could I get a power rank on what are the WWE's top 5 pay-per-views for the year? And also, as a bonus power rank, what do you think Vince McMahon's top 5 pay-per-views are? Because I think maybe a little bit something that could sway those numbers a bit, if you know what I mean. All right, guys. Too sweet. Hearty handshake.
Thank you, Enforcer.
Thank you, Enforcer.
For me...
So we sort of interpreted this question in like two different ways, right? Or did you just go ahead? Because I didn't know if Enforcer meant what are the 5 biggest pay-per-views in our opinion this year? Like when did the biggest story beats happen this year?
I interpret it as what is
generally speaking.
Yeah, generally speaking, what are supposed to be the 5 most impactful pay-per-views.
Okay,
in the course
so
of the
you'll
year.
answer that part of it. I'll answer what I think the most impactful this year.
So in a general sense, what I feel like the shows that are generally the most impactful or should be the most impactful are Mania, of course. That should be the culmination of everything that's happened the previous year. Not that it always is, but it should be. The Rumble, generally it's not uncommon for there to be title changes there. Of course, you got the Rumble match itself that sets up a match at Mania. Huge deal.
And you're exactly.
And you're kickstarting the road to WrestleMania. Money in the Bank, mostly because of the ladder matches. When booked right, having those briefcases out there leads to some interesting stories. Next, SummerSlam, especially the last few years, creatively it's been a bit underwhelming. And then Survivor Series, every once in a while you get a cool moment at Survivor Series. And it's still viewed by the company, I think, as one of the major 4.
Well, they have a lot of,
and they treat it as such. They make a whole weekend of it and stuff like that. Have a takeover that weekend.
Yeah.
So it's still generally treated as a major event, even though it's not always up to that level. In Vince's eyes, it's 1A, 1B, Mania, and the Saudi Arabia shows, because those shows probably make the most money for him. And after that, I feel like Vince thinks SummerSlam is a huge deal, but it doesn't really play out that way.
He's always been really weird about creative and SummerSlam.
Yeah,
a lot of weird. Like, I'm kind of curious about what if it's a matter of. I think Pritchard said before, like Vince always wants, and we sort of have seen this. Vince always wants the big moment for like WrestleMania. At SummerSlam, it's like he wants a big like buzzy moment, but not necessarily like something that's going to send people home happy.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's odd. Then the Rumble, and then Survivor Series.
I'm going to go with this. So the top 5 impactful pay-per-views this year, in my opinion, have been WrestleMania. You had, the culmination of that main event, all that stuff. You had Seth beating Brock, even though he did it with a chair and stuff. Then we had the Rumble. That was very impactful story-wise this year. SummerSlam, I thought that, there was plenty of impactful moments this year at SummerSlam. We had Seth beating Brock clean. That's sort of a big deal. We have, let's see here, Money in the Bank was next because we had the women's cash-in with Bayley and then, Charlotte and then Bayley. That was a pretty big deal. Vince, I think he sees it. It's pretty much what you said, except I replaced one with the other. WrestleMania, Super Showdown, SummerSlam, Rumble, and then the second Saudi show. So I think that's where, and it's exactly what Stevie Bradley was alluding to. That's where the money is.
Yeah. I don't think Vince thinks very highly of Money in the Bank. We've heard countless times where they put the briefcase in somebody and instantly he regrets it.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
And then, especially the last few years, it seemed like he treats it as if it's something terribly special. So
yeah.
The question from Taco Dan. Taco Dan, please stop driving while you're doing
no
Matt Chat
driving
questions.
during Matt Chat questions.
Yes.
You're on, this is your verbal warning, then you're going to get a written warning.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
I'm joking. Just be careful. Be safe.
Careful, please.
Be safe, people. We care about you.
Hey, friendos, this is Taco Dan, and I've got a 2-part question for you guys. So last night we saw the debut of The Fiend, and I, like I'm sure everyone else, was just in awe of the entrance and the whole match. So the first part of the question is, because Bray Wyatt has gone under 2 very, very successful repackagings, what were some of your favorite repackages throughout the years? And second, relating to the entrance, what are some of your favorite debut entrances of all time? Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thank you, Taco Dan.
Thank you, Taco Dan.
Go ahead,
man. So, favorite repackages and entrances. So, one of my favorite repackages, of course, Stone Cold Steve Austin from the Ringmaster. Did you actually sit down and watch any of the Ringmaster stuff? It's so bad.
It's really
like,
lousy.
who is this person? Like, it's insane. That just like, shaving the head, growing a goatee, and gruffing up your voice a little bit and putting on black trunks instead of like Forest Green, will make the world a difference.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy. So Stone Cold's from the Ringmaster. Jericho, when he came back and started acting like Anton Chigurh. Triple H from the French guy to the DX guy, and then also from DX guy to the Game. Those are good little repackages. Let's see, some of my favorite entrances. Stone Cold breaking through the glass. Whenever the glass just comes shattering down and he comes walking out. Oh, that was so cool. Also, Stone Cold riding his four-wheeler and almost just murdering everybody on it because he barely had control of it. Jericho's WWE debut. Hogan air guitaring Jimi Hendrix. I know, man, we're conflicted on Hogan, but he always looked really cool coming down singing to Jimi Hendrix because he thought that Jimmy wrote it about him. And then, of course, Prince Devitt riding out on top of Bad Luck Fale.
Yeah, on his shoulders.
On his shoulders.
Yeah.
When they were, that's a great entrance when they were both
I'll mention a couple. You mentioned Jericho, his debut. That was amazing. When Kazuchika Okada came out with a dinosaur.
Yeah. Shoot dinosaur.
Also, he had a giant sword one time, too.
Yeah. I think that was the same entrance, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was.
And then also anytime Minoru Suzuki makes an entrance. Because you can hear Kaze ni Nare.
Yeah.
Favorite repackages, Balloon Okada. I love Balloon Okada.
It's a great one.
Very, very rare you get a wrestler of his stature, of his prominence, willing to take that many chances with his character. And he did it, and it was great. Broken Matt Hardy wasn't a success all the time.
Right.
But it was ambitious.
It was, yeah.
And when it worked, it really worked.
It did.
And then best in the world, CM Punk. It was not a huge change from what he was doing previously, which is leader of the New Nexus. But it was sprung from his frustration of having put in that kind of crap position.
Yeah.
And of course, before that, he was the leader of the Straight Edge Society.
Yeah.
So best in the world Punk's a pretty significant departure from Straight Edge Punk. But there was that kind of intermediary period in between, so it wasn't a direct shift nonetheless.
Yeah, that was so weird when they put him with the Nexus. That was a really weird
It would
thing.
make a whole lot of sense. It's like, well, what are we going to do with Punk? Let's put him with these guys.
Yeah.
More or less. Next, from Cult of False Realities.
What's up, Steven Larson and all the friendos out there? It's the Cult of False Realities, back with another Matt Chat question. And guys, welcome to Jobber Mania. That's right. For Matt Chat this week, I want both of you guys to make a 6-match card using nothing but jobbers. Just mid-card, loser locker room. That's all you get to use. And it's got to be 2 men, 2 women, and 2 tag team matches. Let's see what you guys can come up with. 2 sweet, hearty handshake. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Cult of False Realities.
Thank you.
All right, that's what I got. EC3 versus Eric Young.
Good.
Kona Reeves versus Dan Matha.
Excellent.
Dana Brooke versus Tamina.
Excellent.
Singh Brothers versus the Yolo County Tag Team Champions.
Oh, okay. That was, you win on that one.
Dave Dutra, AJ Kirsch.
Yeah, okay, you win on that one.
Tyson T-Bone and Saxon Huxley versus the Ascension.
Wow, okay.
And then Aaliyah versus Vanessa Bourne.
Oh, wow. 2 jobbers in the same team. They're both jobbers, singles too. Wow. That's a really good one. Mine doesn't really rival that. I've got EC3 versus Bob Roode. I think that'd be a good match. Apollo Crews versus Mojo Rawley. Maybe we'll one day find out what all that weird lightning makeup is on Mojo Rawley.
Maybe it's got to watch Main Event more often.
Dana Brooke. I watched Main Event. He's not on it. Dana Brooke versus Sarah Logan again. Best of 100 match. Mickie James versus Liv Morgan. Sort of really young versus super old. And then the Ascension versus Heavy Machinery. Because I haven't seen Heavy Machinery lately.
They haven't been around in a
They're
while.
back into the... It's funny when you look at that 24/7 title really elevated a lot of people. If you look at Cedric Alexander was running around with that. Now he's
in a program with Drew.
Up there.
That's a huge deal.
I mean, basically 24/7 title is it's what? Titus, Bob Roode, Eric Young, EC3. It's those ranks are whittling down.
Yeah, it really is. Got a question next from Tanner.
Hey guys, got a new gimmick idea? Time traveler. Not just any time traveler. This time traveler went back in time and was the one that lifted the briefcase from Stone Cold. Now, it's your job to decide what current roster member is the one who did it and also why. Thanks, guys. Have fun.
Thank you, Tanner.
Thank you, Tanner. What current superstar? So for some context here, King of the Ring 1999 saw the main event of Stone Cold versus Vince and Shane. Ladder match for a briefcase containing the right to be the CEO.
Correct.
Or something? Okay. Anyway, Stone Cold dispatched pretty easily with Vince and Shane, and then climbed the ladder only to have the briefcase, which was hanging on a chain, be lifted up out of his reach. So who lifted it?
Because it was never revealed who it was.
No, I'm going to say, well, I mean, I guess you can extrapolate it's one of Vince's cronies.
Yes.
However, if it's in this day and age, the only people I know who are legit union workers allowed to operate such machinery would be, in fact, heavy machinery.
But why would they mess with Stone Cold like that?
Because they've been hired by Vince McMahon from the past to come back in time and do that and then send them on their way. So there's no trace of them. They're like, the only DNA we found on this machinery is from a couple of kids. I don't know how old they were back then. Probably, elementary school age, if that. That was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Tucker is at most 30.
Yeah.
He'd be like 10 years old. A couple
right.
of fifth graders.
All right.
It couldn't be them. Impossible.
All right.
Arrest their dads.
Okay. I'm going to say that there is a superstar on the roster now who really won the curry favor with the McMahons 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So they benefit him in the here and now.
And it did. Big
time. Big
Yeah.
time, especially when he came back from traveling back to the future.
The only way you can explain the push of this man.
Yes. I'm talking about Baron Corbin.
Time traveling.
He went back in time. He drove his Ferrari.
Yeah.
Which he got it from the rental place. Like, what's this weird device in the back? Flux capacitor. Once this Ferrari gets to 88, you're going to see some serious Baron.
Yeah.
He travels back
You're
in
gonna
time.
see some serious light profanity.
Yeah, he's going to travel back in time, help out the McMahons, to curry favor with them. So when he comes back, he is given a plum role on TV.
Yeah. Did you see Baron tweeted something out that sounds literally exactly like
that scenario just presented?
No, like how we have him talk.
Huh.
So his new Twitter handle is soon to be king. And he says, "To all my loyal subjects, we all enjoyed my work as constable. I can't wait to reign as your king. More me, =happier you."
It's pretty good.
It's that last line right there. I'm like, dude, is he watching the show?
Yeah, no.
So yeah, that's a good one. I also think Baron might be the guy who's in that film of a guy talking on a cell phone from way back then.
Could be.
Because he'd be like, honestly, why can't I call the future?
Siri, call Vince. I need to know where I'm booked today.
I want to call Edison and see if he can help me fix this flux capacitor. But he's like, his phones don't work, man. Your phone's not going to work in the past, Baron Corbin. Stop putting it up to your ear and getting captured on film.
I'm going to invent cell phone technology. Next, a couple of text questions. First, from Luis Ariza. He asks, who benefited the most from a theme song change? CM Punk, man. When they changed it to Cult of Personality, man, that was awesome.
Oh, I like his old one, though.
Nah, man, it's Cult of Personality.
Bunch of screaming.
And then, of course, Hogan probably had some crap generic song. I don't know what Hall and Nash had when they debuted at Bash the Beach. But when they started coming with the NWO theme, man,
that's
amazing.
a good question. What was their theme?
I don't remember.
Was he think it was like some generic crap, or was it NWO music?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, Hogan when Jimi Hendrix wrote Voodoo Child for him.
Voodoo Child for him, yeah.
Yeah.
That was after he joined the NWO, though.
Right. I'm going to say, I don't know what the hell Stone Cold probably came out to $1 Million Man theme.
Maybe.
I don't know. But whenever he started doing that,
yeah,
that, man, boy, that fit him so well. And then when Edge went from
"You think you know me"
down, until then he changed to "On this day I see clearly." Yeah, that absolutely.
Finally, from the Howdly Doodly Champ, says this week's question comes from RJ Meltzer in Discord. Cast wrestlers in a live-action Care Bear movie.
This is what I'm talking about. This Discord, man.
You got Heavy Machinery, Otis and Tucky.
Yeah. I don't know any of the characters in Care Bears, so we're just saying these people are now Care Bears.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dave Mastiff, he's like prime Care Bear.
Yeah, that's good. The Coffee Brothers.
Coffee Brothers are definitely Care Bears. Joe is Grumpy Care Bear.
Wild Boar.
Oh yeah. Is there a supremely tall, really rail thin one that Eddie Dennis could be a Care Bear?
I don't recall. It's been a while since I've seen any Care Bear products.
It's the Fens fault.
Who else?
Oh, Trent Seven make a great Care Bear.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
It's very, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either, man.
No, I haven't seen anything from the Care Bears in like 30 years, man.
I barely did when it
34, probably 35.
Yeah,
mid 80s.
Right. Yeah. It's been a very long time.
Long time.
Anyways, I want to say thanks to everybody for participating. Patreon.com/Stephen Larson. Even at $5, we have a ton of bonus content you can check out there. And at $20, you can submit your video questions right here on Matt Chat and answered by Stephen Larson.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. We appreciate it. Be sure to leave us a rating, review, or a comment. If you're listening to us in the podcast realm, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notify bell if you're watching us on YouTube. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.